Howdy, everybody, and welcome to Man-O-Rama, episode 101. Tonight, we're going to talk about dating and how guys should approach dating, including women. We'll put women into that. Um, yeah, you never know. It's just kind of one of those, spot the old switcheroo. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So join us on this adventure of hilarious moments of figure it out. Spot the difference, baby. Howdy, everybody. Welcome to Man-O-Rama. I'm your host, Rancorsteve, and this is episode 101. Heh. It's not the Dalmatians. Don't worry about that. As I'm just rambling on, I'm waiting for the other guys to join in. Hey, Tom. We're going to go around the table and see how everyone's week's been. Tom, how's your week been?
I'm here. No, it's been busy, and stuff. By the way, you missed a good opportunity. You said, was it know what I mean, Ver? Know what I mean? Know what I mean? Yeah. No, it's been good. It's been good. Keeping busy, selling calendars, trying to build a business, and that's about it, really. I did a film festival since I've been back on. I got to go to a film festival and do photography for them. Try to network and keep busy and just trying to make a name for myself. So I'm making this my career. Behind the lens of a camera is what I'm meant to do. So. No more dead-end jobs.
And Canadian Spiderman, how's your week been? I know you've been a little cuckoo for Cocoa Pebbles, but how you doing?
Yeah, well, the first 4 days I couldn't find my toes. No, I'm kidding. Everything went. It took me a while to clean up the damage from the propellants and the fireworks, but yeah, it was great. Been trying to finish up construction projects. The snow came last night, so construction's pretty much done.
So and but I've got there.
Yeah, there's about a half inch, 4 centimeters on the ground. But I have one more week to go get a deer, and it's going to be a lot easier to track them with the snow down. So things are looking good. Busy with the hunting.
Nice. Rick, how's your week been?
So far so good. I mean, it's only Tuesday, but it's a short week anyway. So
it is.
Gonna do the usual stuff tomorrow, and then Thursday and Friday. Thursday I'll be at my grandmother's for Thanksgiving, and then Friday I'll be riding all day trying to play catch up because I haven't ridden very much lately. But yeah, it's a good week. Looking forward to family time. They already
know. Vincent, how's your week?
Sir, it's been absolutely fabulous, my friend. I'm a retired man. I do absolutely nothing all day. I exercise in the morning.
Sack of shit.
I'm not lazy. I exercise. I putter around the house. I fix things. I tinker. I go out in the backyard. I look at the rippling creek that runs through my backyard and hope to find a place. And then I come back inside.
Point of order, sir. I do believe you've mispronounced retarded. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Fag.
You're a naturalist now.
No, I'm not a naturalist. I mean, I live 10 miles outside of Philadelphia, but I actually do have a small creek running
traditional
in my backyard.
Sense of the naturalist. Yeah, no, you examine nature. Do you, and make recordings of perhaps some notes?
Perhaps I should.
You're a naturalist if you do.
Because naturalist has other connotations.
So you're close to Philly. The old home of ECW. Good.
Yeah. This fucking city can kill anybody, baby. I love it.
There you go. I know Jeff is, I think he's going to try to make it on or something. I know he's coming on. And my week's been it's a lot of cooking. For the church, I had to cook for Thanksgiving is a huge ordeal. Like my wife was in charge of the crafts and she put me in there's Jeff. And she said, hey, you're going to be doing volunteering. I was like, what did you volunteer me for? And she's like, don't worry, it's not crafts or dealing with kids. It's in the kitchen. I was like, yes. This is my favorite time of the year. It is. I like Christmas, but Thanksgiving is my bread and butter because I get to cook mad good food and just helping out and feeding a bunch of people in need. It made it good. And then I bought almost a 20-pound turkey for Thanksgiving. I'm gonna be cooking like crazy on Thanksgiving. Yeah.
For those of us that are bachelors, we have no concept of what a 20-pound turkey is. How big is that?
It's big.
It's the size of a let's say a 4 or 5 month old infant.
So about the size of the host of the show.
Yeah, you nailed
Hey,
it.
Steve.
Yeah.
Fair
Wait a
to
minute.
say.
I'll be doing that.
Fair to say.
Jeff, how's your week been, Santa Claus?
Pretty good. Only 3 people sat on my lap this week. Kind of disappointing, low numbers. But I'm sure next week will be looking up, and I'm sure things will rise to a higher level than I've ever had. Otherwise, it's been good.
I don't know if I have audio going crazy on my end or what. Nope. Never mind.
Are you wearing a Santa Claus suit when you I don't know if you're actually joking or not.
No, I'm in this. I'm low key disguised right now. A couple weeks before you might see me out in a Christmas outfit.
But you do have people sitting on your lap, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna try that.
Dude,
I've actually believe it or not, I actually did have a kid recently asked if I knew Santa. And I won't lie, it was a great feeling.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
I was thinking about doing that maybe, but doing it for a more adult-oriented crowd. Wear a red banana hammock and that little cap and sit on my lap, dear. Yeah.
Tonight we are streaming both on X, KLRN Radio, and Rumble and YouTube. So there's different platforms. And also, we're trying something new because this happened last week. And I thought this would be a great idea to allow the fans to be a part of this segment. The tip of the hat. Wes Cagle did this last week. And I was like kind of amazed. I was like, all right, we should do this. Yeah. I had a brain fart right there, guys. It happens. It's so if you want, when we do tip of the hat, when we get to that segment near the end of the show, and if you want to put in your tip of the hat, you can actually go to Rumble, send a rant, and then we will actually post that and then mention what your tip of the hat is for that week. And I thought that was kind of cool, so we're going to do that. So anyone is welcome to do that. And yeah.
And don't forget to smash that like button.
Oh, God.
I've always wanted to say that. I've got it out of my system now.
You sound like a douche.
You'll never hear me say it again.
You sound like a douche.
That's my car salesman voice.
We want this channel to grow. What you're doing here is important. What we are doing is
exactly.
It's important.
Are you drinking anything, Canadian Spider-Man? Are you drinking anything? Because the last time you said that, you were drinking a whole bottle.
I rewatched that episode and I got a little emotional and gushy.
Yeah,
and I might have.
No, Spider-Man. There was no little emotional about it. You went flat out. Here's my penis. Take it from me.
Yeah, I was crying.
I'm going to open up my purse, and I'm going to.
This is a good week to talk about that. Guys that are dudes but without a penis, are they?
It was. Well, that's what tonight's episode is to help guys.
I am drinking. Yes.
Figure out.
God damn it!
Hey, how can we?
Don't you fucking do it?
Don't.
I will come up to fucking.
Okay, it's wine. It's not that bad.
It's wine. No, it's wine. I'm never drinking hard stuff live on air again. No.
That's good. That's good. Anyways, so we're gonna get into this segment here.
Twitter.
Twitter. There's a word here right now, and so I had to do it. I had to do it, guys. Whatever. Cancel me. Don't be that guys where we actually make fun of and mock tweets, images, whatever it is, and actually give critiques on it. Of this isn't how you shouldn't do this. Here's the first one, guys. Kamala Harris. Kamala 2028. They're already booking it ready up for that one. Wow. She said this person, whatever beta cock this person said, goes, she always spoke truth. She always lifted. I always want to yell out the all caps for some reason, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to do.
You're supposed to.
I'm not going to do that because I don't want to burst someone's ears because someone might be wearing headphones. And I don't want to do that. I want to be nice.
How about your growl?
Most of us are wearing
Yeah. She always spoke truth. She always lifted people up. Oh, so touching. She never called us names or used fabricated stories to put us down. Really? McDonald's? I will always be in her corner. And I will continue to push back on those who scapegoat the truth.
Dude,
guys, what is the stupid problem with this?
You got to do it in like a movie trailer announcer voice.
You do it. You do it.
Yeah, you do it.
Show them how to do it.
She
Mr.
always spoke
Shakespeare
truth.
on us.
She always lifted people up. She never called us names or used fabricated stories to put us down. I will always be in her corner. And I'm not reading the rest of it because it's I feel nauseous.
Yeah, I know.
You should have kept reading it and changed scapegoat to deep throat. Just saying.
Oh.
Okay, you win the internet for today. I can't top that shit.
That's a good one.
But yeah, Kamala 2028. Here's the fucking problem. Number one, she's not going to be able to carry anything. The only thing she could possibly hope for that she could possibly win would be the governorship of California. And that's the only thing that she can shoot for. Because Newsom,
give any ideas.
No, because Newsom is going to go ahead and try and run for president. It's going to be him in 2028.
Well, here's the problem with that whole thing. You got Newsom, who's like the Joker. And it's like people don't like Newsom, so they're going to pick Kamala, which is like even lower.
Yeah, but see, he can't run for governor again. He's done.
I know.
So the only place he can go is up. Hopefully not, but and then once he does that, Kamala's going to go ahead and run for governor of California.
Failing upwards.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, we'll go to this.
Story of her life.
I just want to say one thing about Todd here.
Yes.
I guarantee you he has gone down on more men than Tracy Lords.
He's gone down more than the Titanic.
Isn't that the girl from Family Ties? The little girl? Oh, the little sister.
That's Tracy Gold.
Good Lord.
Similar.
Are you sure? Are you sure you don't have any more rum?
Yeah.
No.
Well, that
anyways, guys.
I drank most of it, I guess.
We'll get to the next one. All right. Here, hold up. This one really took me for a cookie because I was just, oof. This person, Senator Sonia
Senator
Phoenix,
Fuckface.
Yeah. Said an egg is not a chicken. I feel so retarded even just saying all this.
The seed.
An egg is not a chicken. A seed is not a flower. An embryo is not a baby. Her body is not your body. Guys, what is if you didn't lose any brain cells, what is the issue behind this?
That people elected her.
You mean other than the fact that it's so fucking retarded?
Yeah.
No, that's
stupidity down.
calling her retarded is an insult to retarded people.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Yeah, Jesus, dude.
Like, I can hear Steve vapor locking from here. I don't even know what
I-
to say.
I don't know what
Spray
to
some
say
gum
at
out
all.
in his ears.
To me, this was like how stupid of a tweet that you can come up with.
Yeah.
And like I get what she was trying to do, but it just
No,
She
you know
failed
what
on all fronts
what
with
it
that one.
reminds me of? The way it's all laid out and it's got that little artsy craftsy shit in the background. This is something stupid that you would make in school and the teacher would put it on the wall. You get what I'm saying? One of those
And the
really-
worst part is, they worked an hour on this and gave each other high fives after posting it.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
So we'll go to the next one.
but she doesn't. Yeah.
Our favorite. I'll zoom this out a little bit so you can see. Our favorite Brooklyn dad who can't pay child support decided to say, "Pardon or no pardon, Trump will always be a fucking convicted felon, adjudicated rapist, criminal, always. Pardon me. Oh, it's not January 20th yet. Here's a funny. Well, hold up. I will. What do you actually see the problem with what he just said?
It's
There's
Brooklyn.
actually two.
It's Brooklyn Dick Devourer. Anything he types is absolute shit. Fucking
So not to bust out my armchair loitering, as I call it, LOLYER. But he's never been convicted.
No.
Because he hasn't been sentenced yet. And now all of the charges are being dismissed, so he's never going to be convicted. And everybody's just like, oh, well, the other thing is, and everybody's like, oh, well, Alvin Bragg still may try to get him in 2029. Alvin Bragg's up for re-election in a year. So if New York's learned their lesson, all this shit's going to go away.
But what do you guys see the other problem with this tweet? This is right here, this tweet here. This is why you should never do this. Does anybody know what the other problem is?
Steve, would you mind, for those of us that can't read it, do you mind reading it, please?
Okay, I'll read it one more time. How much rum did you drink? No.
the rum kicked in again.
I know. Pardon or no pardon, Trump will always be a fucking convicted felon, adjudicated rapist, criminal, always. Pardon me. Oh, it's not January 20th yet. What is the actual number one problem behind this entire tweet? Which you should never do this. If anyone can actually guess, if not, I can actually explain.
It's redundant. You don't need to put criminal after rapist. You're by virtue of you being a rapist, you're already a criminal. So that's repetitive.
Well, that too.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
But tweeting something out like this, that is considered, you can get sued.
Yeah.
Because you're accusing the person of something they didn't do. And you're defamation, right. And you're doing all these things. Guess what? He's going to be sued out of his butt. Yes. So, guys, here's a little tip.
Well, here's the thing that you're forgetting, even more absurd than everything he wrote. What's that up by his name? There's a subscribe button. This dude probably has people who have subscribed to him. That's probably the dumbest thing about this whole thing.
Yeah, see, the thing is with him and with fucking JoJo from Jersey and all that, they're going absolutely thermal because how many people did the DNC lay off today? Their gravy train is coming to an end. They're going to have to depend on strictly Twitter for their cash
National
flow.
Convention.
Yeah, the DNC laid off a fucking metric shit ton of people.
For those of us that aren't American.
Well, we're going to get to the next one, and then we're going to get into one of my favorite segments. Hey, he's back again.
We have people watching from Indonesia.
Guys, here's the thing.
Period.
Yeah, I was going to say period.
I love his artwork.
He's just so angry.
Here's the thing, guys. Don't post if they're not really convicted. Don't.
There's no convicted. There's no conviction.
I know, but this is actually really harmful in general. You'll never see me tweet something out where I say something like this. If if it's not true. It's not. And I think, oh, okay. So this is the last one, guys. Let's see if here we go. So my brother Tyler, he posted a video on TikTok, and I chimed in because I said, "What is a woman?" in one of the comments, and this guy said something, and I was like, he pretty much said, if you have to ask, then pretty much saying you don't know, you won't get a woman or something like that. I was like, you're probably right. It's the left who can't define what a woman is. Let me check with my wife if she knows. And then this is where the whole watch what you say around people kind of thing. I never really do anything. If someone wants to bust my balls, you can go do it. I don't care. Come after me. Big whoop. He goes, don't bother. I'll ask after she finishes making my sandwich. Here's the thing, guys. Here's a little rule, and it's an actual unwritten rule. And it's a bro code rule. You can go after the guy, but you never go after the fucking wife, girlfriend, or the kids. Those are off limits. Family members, off limits. I was actually really pissed by this, and I never do. But if someone actually insults my wife in a comment, guess what? I never do this, but it's like, you know what? I'm just going to report you because, you know what? You're a douche. And the reason why I didn't say anything back to him is because he didn't care. He's a troll. He did not care.
The thing is, Steve.
I'm heated as a motherfucker right now because of this.
No, I know.
I don't blame you. I mean, it was a
God.
move for him to do.
Breathe in through your
How
mouth.
is this any
out through your
different
nose.
than your mama jokes? And I know we've all told your mama jokes.
Because
That's even worse. That's your mom.
That's more like it's a little bit different. Like your mama joke, because even your mom.
Your mom won't leave you.
Joke.
Your wife might.
The thing about the wife is if let's say I make a jab at one of your guys' wives. Let's say we're all married. I make a jab at one of your wives. That's really disrespectful for me because I'm disrespecting you. It's kind of like you don't do that. It's stupid. You sound moronic and retarded and everything. Just go at the guy. Go for the jugular on the guy instead of going for the obvious target that it has nothing to do with the conversation kind of thing. And it's like, that's what, like, I'll never make fun of a dude's wife. I'll never do any of that stuff. Like, it's, even if the guy's joking about his own wife, I will never do that because it's like, you know what? I want to respect you. You're married. I want to respect you. I'm going to leave that out. But it's like, man, don't do that. That's one thing, guys. Don't try to one up on another guy and just make an innuendo joke about another guy's wife because it sounds really stupid and you sound moronic when you do that.
Because most of us know people who can find out who this guy is and where he lives in 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's not that hard to find people.
Yeah.
But now that we got that over with, we're gonna do this segment because this fits in with the actual topic. You ready, Canadian Spider-Man? I don't think you are.
No.
I'm ready.
Guys, this is the part of the show where I enjoy this very much. Once in a while we do this.
You got your helmet ready?
Yeah. Because here's the thing. I'll be honest with you guys. There's one that got me. A little bit. I actually had to go and talk to someone and be like, hey, is this a guy or girl? And they were like, I don't know. And she was very confused. So, yeah. So let me pull this all up for you guys. This is fun. I love it. You guys are in for a treat. All right, guys. Rick. Dude or chick? And
Dude.
why? All right, dude. So why do you think it's a dude?
Look at facial structure for one.
Okay.
Not to mention the fact that even though the head's turned, you can kind of see an Adam's apple. So just saying.
All right. Vincent.
Dude.
All right. Canadian Spider-Man.
No, if you gentlemen look carefully under
Oh, he's
under
getting
the shoulder,
technical.
the purple sweater there, right under on the shoulder there, you can see where there's a little bump, and that's where a bra strap is. And only girls wear bras, so that's a girl.
One night in Bangkok. Oh wait, sorry.
Tom.
I was going to say, in all his travels, he's never been to Bangkok, has he?
I've been to Bangkok many times.
It could be a shirt underneath, so I'm going to say dude. Because of the facial structure thing, I'm going with that one. So
that is a dude.
Nicely done, Steve. Only girls wear bras.
That was a good observation.
No, that's good, but it could be an undershirt.
You can look at the nose and then the eyes of how they're and everything. He's got his little light up. Anyways,
Yep.
You got a stud finder? All right, Canadian Spider-Man.
That's an unfortunate woman.
Okay. Why do you say unfortunate?
Well, I mean,
Steve, he has specific tastes.
Yes,
you were
we know
gonna
this.
be a
We've
guy
had
that paid money
conversations
to look
with him
like a
about
woman.
this.
You wouldn't pay to look like that.
Okay. So you say it's
I got to admit, that's a fair point.
yeah, exactly.
That's a woman.
no
guy would make themselves look like that on purpose.
All right, Jeff.
Dude.
All right. I do like the observation that Canadian Spider-Man is doing. He's getting a little technical. He's actually going in the technical route, which is good.
No
Rick.
penis detected.
Yeah, I'm still gonna have to go with dude. There's
right.
Yeah, that
was a clitoris.
Tom.
Just because their Audi was almost an innie doesn't make it a clit, dude.
They're big.
I'm going to go with opposite just because. I'm going to say girl.
All right, Vincent.
See, now everyone's saying, "Oh, it's unfortunate." See, but that actually looks like a normal person. Like,
right?
Going to the grocery store, you see a normal-looking woman there. You're not seeing a stunner. You're not seeing someone who's wearing a cocktail dress to pick up cheese at Whole Foods. I mean, it's a normal woman. Like,
those aren't her normal teeth. Those aren't her normal eyebrows.
That looks like a Midwest woman, right?
Yeah. It's still a guy, but yeah.
Well, guess what? It's a guy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Don't worry. I think this one got me. Nope, not this one. Canadian Spider-Man.
Ooh, no, I've dated a girl that looked like that. Turned out it was a dude. Yeah, that's
I dated a girl that looked like that. Her cock was huge.
It didn't last more than a week.
You just about made Steve choke to death on the air.
Oh.
You okay there, brother?
I am. That was the fun.
Okay.
Found out she was a dude.
Oh yeah.
So what do you say?
That's a dude.
Okay. Jeff.
Dude. Though I will give credit to this one. The makeup, damn good. Dude has practiced a lot and makes it more believable than anything else.
All right. Rick.
I only have one thing to say about this one. Dude looks like a lady. Because, yeah, that's a dude.
All right. Tom.
Dude.
All right. Vincent.
Gonna say dude.
All right. It was a dude. All right.
Yay.
Rick.
Holy fuck.
Right? This one got me. This is the one that got me.
I'm gonna say it's a chick LARPing as a dude, but I'm probably wrong.
Canadian Spider-Man.
No, that's a dude, and if he went to the gym, he could do better.
Okay.
He's got material to work with. He just needs to go to the gym.
Jeff.
Check.
Chick. Vincent.
Though I would not doubt XXY.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with chick LARPing.
All right. Tom.
I'm gonna say dude.
Okay, so here's the problem that I came up with this. This is the one that I actually sent to my friend. I was like, "Can you explain this one to me?" She said dude, and I said chick. Because there is a certain time where you actually will find a chick that has a very young, like boyish look, and then you
Mhm.
have a guy that has a very youngish girl look, and you cannot tell. It's natural. I can't tell which, because the hands are very feminine, the face is very soft, the eyebrows are it baffles me. I want to say it's a dude, but at the same time, and I even tried to look into this, there's no information I could find. And this is one that actually got me. And I was
Okay,
like, I can't tell the difference.
For our Canadian friends on the panel, he resembles somebody.
I was as
Actually,
soon as you said,
Yeah.
for our Canadian friends on the panel, I said, "Yep, I could see that."
Maybe
So that is, yeah. So that is the spot, the tranny, hombre, or senorita. See, the last one I knew was going to get some people. They're like, because
But you didn't have an answer.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer.
That's even worse.
You should send me
Because
that. I
it's-
bet you I could find out.
Because now he's going to be thinking about it all night.
Now I'm more confused than ever.
Because here's the thing.
I was
It's
hoping to come here with some clarity.
because the facial structure looks like a dude, but it also looks like a female. And there's no like actual like reproduction surgery or anything. It's
I'm
just
still going to say it's a chick LARPing is Justin
it
Trudeau.
could be
Because of the age.
There's
But
one
here's
way
the
to find out.
Because here's the thing: if it is a chick LARPing as a dude, spot on. You've nailed it pretty well.
I'd say young teen guy or mid teen guy.
We need.
Can you pull up that picture again?
We need to send CSM to take one for the team and go look under the hood.
Ooh.
We'll buy you some rum.
Dundee style. Ooh.
Here, let me.
Actually, Steve, do me a favor. Send me that on whatchamacallit. I bet you can find out. I have ways of looking for things in people.
Here, let me pull it up right quick.
He's got a tranny database.
Yeah. Yes. No. Even though
I'm going to blend. I want to blend two segments in here.
Uh-oh.
Can you zoom in on their hand?
Zoom.
Yeah.
Zoom. Enhance. Enhance.
Enhance.
Enhance. Ooh, the name on the credit card. That'll do it.
Look at the picture between their fingers. Chick.
Wait.
Wait, what?
What do you mean?
In their middle and ring
Oh.
finger, you can see a face. It's a chick.
Wow.
Ooh.
God damn it! I fucking hate being right.
I'm not sure that was a chick. What, the picture?
Was.
That's a hard one.
I promise you.
I'll take your
But
word for it.
in a segment of what men or women shouldn't do, don't ever take a selfie with any identification on your phone that can be used against you.
No.
Yeah. All right. So with tonight's topic is we're here to help guys and women, if women struggle with this, of how to spot the difference when it comes to dating. And which is very important because the reason today we're going to talk about fashion, but then the whole bathroom thing. And I was like, you know what? We're going to change it up. We're going to do more of this because this is actually a key thing because it's coming to the holidays and you want to bring a date to the family because of holidays and all that stuff. I don't know if anyone does that these days still. But it's like, we got to do something. But here's the first question I have for everyone. Jeff, has there ever been a time you couldn't tell the difference
between man and woman?
Yes.
Yes, I talked about it
going
on
a date or something like that. What?
Yeah, I picked up the girl that found out she was a dude later. Absolutely believed looking at her. And this was back in the early 90s. So the surgery and stuff weren't even that good. But this dude looked 100% like a chick.
All right. Canadian Spider-Man.
Absolutely, yes. As a matter of fact, in Thailand, after leaving Bangkok, I got out of the city. I got out of the city and went on a 2-hour bus ride south, and there's a little island, Ko Chang Island. It means Elephant Island, right off the coast. And I went to a hostel there. It was rainy season, so I was the only tourist there, and I had the whole place to myself. And there was the owner and the helper / cook, and it was a very attractive lady. She was much taller than me, and spent 3 days hanging out with the owner, smoking the Thai ganja, and she was fishing, and then she'd cook meals, and day 3 she says, they hanging out, and I'm kind of flirting with her, and I think I'm making progress, and because I move slow. I'm a old-fashioned kind of guy. And day 3 they said, we're going to the market, we can't leave you alone in the hostel, let's all go to the market, come with us. I said, oh, okay. So we get to the market, and she goes, oh, it's crowded, here, take my hand. And I grabbed her hand. She had the grip of a friggin' martial artist. She had such a straw, and then it all it hit me like a fucking brick wall. This is no lady. This is not a woman. And then I kept thinking, okay, haven't embarrassed myself. I've only been friendly. I'm just a friendly dude. And yeah, and I just backed away, and then I spent 3 more days there, but there was no hanky panky.
Well, that's good. Rick.
I mean, I've never really been in a position where I've had to worry about it, but I did used to work in the gay district in Oklahoma City. So there were plenty of them around that, were sometimes questionable, but it wasn't that hard to tell. But when I worked there, I was married, so it was never anything I had to worry about. So I've never really been in a position where I've wound up thinking I was talking to a chick and wound up realizing I was talking to a dude.
All right.
No.
Tom.
Although I will say the only time I've ever come close was my first time on this show when you did a bunch of AI bullshit, you butthead.
It's good to be the host of this show because then I can just change any rule I want. And then people are like, that's not fair. Guess what? I did write the rules. I just... whatever. Anyways, Tom.
the man hands. I'm thinking that Seinfeld episode. Have anybody seen that one? The girl had the man hands. That was a good one. And you're thinking the man go. Me, yeah, I've been mistaken. I used to be down in the district of Montreal. I used to work down there, and when I lived in Montreal for a while, and you get some of the cross-dressing bars. Some of them you're like, whoa, that's a gorgeous. Oh, it's a guy. Okay, So it's right on stage. They really know how to pass really quick. And they're just guys dressed as women. They don't even have surgery, but they just know how to do the makeup and the clothes perfectly. Some of them really is like, oh, okay. So it's, you work in that district, you see a lot of things. So yeah, it's hard to tell sometimes. Luckily, I've never had experience myself personally. You can usually tell because you know the person, but yeah, I've seen it. And it got confusing sometimes. Yeah, Oh, okay, wait, this is kind of bar. Okay, no, it's a guy just dressed as a girl, but really impressive. Bravo. So
There you go. Vincent.
I'm rather more like Rick. I spent the early part of my adult life
Bullshit.
married. No, my first marriage was 17 years. My second marriage was
Okay.
5 years, and my third marriage was 2.5 years. So I've spent, like I said, the majority of my adult life married in one form or the other. And as far as recently, dating and stuff like that, I've reached the age where I don't need to. I've reached the age where having someone else in my life is actually more of a burden than it is a benefit. So, yeah, I've seen quite a few of them. You go into districts in town. They're like in Berlin. There's a big oh shit, I forgot the name of the street, but they have a huge cross-dressing community there, and they have a number of very famous cabaret bars. And there are a lot of them that are like you really cannot tell the difference. And of course, there's the ones that walk up to you and they've got 3 days worth of beard.
Yeah, that's a very manly woman beard.
And this was back in the so I was in Germany back in the mid '80s, and makeup was really good back then. I don't know about surgery or anything like that, but yeah. I'm not really the person to ask.
All right. That's cool. That's cool. I did meet one dude when I was in college, and I mean, I had a few to drink, and this person actually was like, you know what? I did. I was like, I literally thought it was a woman.
The liquor took hold. His hand found my thigh.
No, it was nothing like that. I was talking to the person, and like I was like, wow, you look like a woman. I didn't say that to the person, but in my head I'm like, wow, that looks like that's a pretty gorgeous woman. Then this happened. This is what scared the living bejeebus out of me, because I came from Nebraska. That's not the norm in Nebraska. They're still doing goth and emo stuff in Nebraska. It's 2024. Get over it, guys. Move on. And the person leaned over to me and said, look, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to flirt with you. You seem like a really nice Southern guy. And I was like, well, thank you. And they're like, I just want you to know I'm a dude. I was like, come again? I was like, what? He dropped his voice, and I was like, holy crap. Now, here's the funny thing is, knowing me as a practical joker, who likes to make jokes and likes to have a little fun, I got the person's number just in case I ever needed it. And I had such an occasion for this opportunity. I had a group of guys. We had in film school. We had one annoying dude. He would not leave us alone. Like, just very ego. He thought he was like cream of the crop, the best of the best of filming. I'm like, dude, your second year of film school. Like, you're not good. None of us are. And they all my buddies were like, dude, we got to get rid of this guy. I was like, I got an idea. They're like, what's your idea? I was like, just whatever happens, just go along with it. And I think I've told this story before on the show, maybe like 2 years ago. And we got this guy drunk, and I called up this dude and I was like, hey, look, there's a guy. We just want him off our backs. And they're like, no problem. And they hit it off really well. And the next day, we all crashed at one of the buddies' place. He comes back, just busting through the door. He's like, how dare you guys? I was like, how dare us what? And he's like, you guys hooked me up with a dude. I was like, so are you saying you? He was like, no. And he's like, how dare you? And I was like, why? He goes, because that looked like a woman, guys.
Can I go into alien story time?
Yeah.
Steve, check your DMs.
Oh, boy.
So, early 2000s. Now, for those that don't know, I grew up in Maryland, just outside of D.C. and Baltimore. if you want to see some of the best that you cannot decide, go to Georgetown, right outside of D.C. It is where a lot of Congress critter staffers will go to get their jollies off. There's also a few gay bars in that area that are absolutely amazing with some of the best food I've ever been in or I ate. But the bars themselves were some of the best I've been in. There, you one or two drinks, and you are probably betting 50-50 odds that if you hit on a woman, it's not one. And you would not know it after just one, maybe two drinks, because they make so much money there that they can get all the tricks and stuff done.
And the cool thing about Georgetown, right when you cross the Key Bridge, the car barn, you can go walk up the Exorcist steps.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Well, we're going to get to the next question. See, I like to start the first question off as kind of like we have faults, little mistakes here and there and stuff. So it makes everyone feel a little bit comfortable, you know, like, oh, I'm not the only one. Here's one. How should guys tell the difference? Vincent.
You should be able to look at the Adam's apple. You should be able to look at the jawline. But with the way surgeries are progressing nowadays, even that's not an indicator. I mean, they're getting good. We've seen photos on this show that you've shown us to where, holy shit, you know, it looks like a woman. And no, it's not a woman. Huh? What? Where's the Adam's apple? You know, where's the jawline? How far are the ears pinned back? The hairline. In shit. I'm gonna say in less than 5 years you won't be able to tell it all. Period.
Yeah.
Well, they can shave the Adam's apple now, right? They can shave it right off. So it's like they can make it non-existent. That's scary, right? It's like, oops.
Yikes. Canadian Spider-Man. How can guys, if they go on a date in 2024 and on, how can guys kind of tell? Because back then you could just say, like, with the age thing, you could just name off a Tart, and if they knew what that was, it's pretty good. Or A-Track, you're like, all right, cool. You're old enough, cool. Now it's like you got to change everything. Like, how would you like if a guy came up to you and be like, hey, how can you tell if it's actually a dude or a chick?
Make an extremely sexist joke, and that'll sort out any a question pretty quickly, I think.
All right. Rick.
I mean, the usual tricks from back in the day, you know, if they're wearing a scarf, it's probably a dude because they're trying to hide their Adam's apple. But this brings up an interesting little side point because I wasn't aware of this. I don't know if anybody else was either, but at some point, Bruce Jenner finished. And I was not aware of this. Apparently, it happened at some point in 2017. Yeah, he actually had complete transition surgery at some point in 2017. I was not aware of this. Complete with Adam's apple shaving. I saw him on Fox News the other day, and I was like, holy crap, he really did. He finished. But yeah, so with all the surgeries and stuff, it's a lot harder to tell now. Sometimes if you're observant enough, you can notice little things like hands that are kind of disproportionate, those kind of things, if you're looking close enough. If you live in the DC area, my honest recommendation would be to take them to the Capitol and then see which bathroom they go into and not that they'll go to jail for going to the wrong one. Just saying.
Got a point there. Tom.
Somebody's not bringing up one thing is, and you can, it's hard to change one thing, is the voice. I find the voice, you can, if you really listen, and I've been around enough gay bars and stuff like that, you can tell when somebody's transitioned with their voice. To even with the chemicals they're putting in their system, there's still to an extent. Now, then you look at Blair White, she can really pass with her voice quite a bit. So it's hard, but like I said, nowadays the shaving of the Adam's apple exists, the physical features.
Right.
It's really getting harder. As Vincent said, eventually it's going to be non-existent. There's not going to be a difference. It's just good. It's really hard. But I say listen. That's what really listen extently, because that's the hardest thing to change, because that just has to happen naturally, your voice. And then, but that's the closest, because nowadays physical appearance, it's almost nondescript. I mean, there's so many surgeries that fix everything. It's really getting harder to tell. It seriously is.
Tom reminded me of one other thing. Thank you, Tom. You're right. There's some things that girls just cannot change, and physical things you're born with. Men go through puberty. We're a lot stronger. A lot of things you can't change. So, if they can't take a punch, they're a real girl.
I will say
That
this.
might
a little extreme.
Yeah,
But
we don't want to
I do
punch
have-
anybody.
Yeah,
It works.
Can I go into some points I think people missed?
yes.
Speech pattern. Women
Oh.
or men are wired differently. The
Mhm.
more a trans person talks, the more you know they're a dude. The voice can be hidden, but the speech pattern cannot. And probably the most overlooked aspect of anyone that you'll see is from the ankle to the calf,
Mhm.
because they cannot fix that, and they are different in large regards because of the way the hips are formed at puberty. So the way the legs develop from the ankle to the calves are a great giveaway that can be fooled by what they're wearing and whatnot. But if you take a careful examination, unfortunately, that also usually involves taking them out to dinner. But you can eventually find a way.
Well, it's when they walk. I would say this with what Tom said about the voice. Men, depending on who the guy is, they're pretty good at changing their voice to a higher point to match a woman. Like, take for instance Blair White. I just watched her video. I consider her a woman because the whole transsexual thing, and she's very much like that. But whatever. When I first heard her voice, I was like, "That's a dude." Now I'm like, "That's
She's gotten better.
And I want to add one other thing.
improved."
I worry about my son
Hmm.
because he's 16. How many years have they been? Because the hand trick used to be the biggest thing, but now
Yeah.
with more and more being manipulated and transformed earlier in life, a lot of the telltale signs are disappearing. And until the day that they can put a uterus in a dude and actually deliver a baby, which will still be physically impossible because the hips are different, even without the everything else, it's a lie. And I don't hate anyone who does it, but don't ever go on a dating scene if you are a person of that nature and not be upfront about it, because the dude may be out looking for a life partner to have kids with.
Yeah.
Good.
And that
So,
is
Jeff,
the stuff that pisses me off.
Actually, if I
I do
can,
have a-
quickly, Jeff, you're mentioning that we actually on Mike's show today we talked about it in a news article. Somebody actually is getting a transplant with a uterus put in to have a child, a trans woman.
Yeah.
So they're trying it now. They're
Mhm.
trying it.
That's good. Hey Jeff, I do have a suggestion for EP though. Have you seen the real challenge where women can do something that men can't do, and they have to start off like from a push-up
Yes.
position, and then the women can actually just have him do that with every chick he wants to date. If it doesn't work,
See,
then he
I
knows
I
it's-
would have passed that.
See, now I'm worried about
I
you.
wouldn't. Yeah. Do you need to tell us something, Jeff? I mean, you have long hair.
No, I'm not going to tell you. I'm not on public radio and TV.
You're like, surprise, motherfucker.
But no, I mean, from my hockey days with my core inner strength being able to do a split and all that, I could do that at one point. It was maybe a 5-year span, but yeah, there are certain people, gymnasts, hockey players, probably some football players that could probably do it. But yeah,
there's a lot like, okay, so even when women go, hey, I imagine myself as a dude. Here's one giveaway that okay, that's a woman and let's say she looks like a full-blown dude. When she moves the chair this way and then sits backwards, I have not seen a guy sit backwards on a chair in 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
Like, I never see it.
Mm.
And also here's another way that you can see. Look at their feet, how they're positioned. A guy will usually
Yes.
like this, and a woman's like this.
Yes.
Or how they sit.
Even younger.
What?
Even the younger kids that get transitioned earlier still tend to do that.
It's how our body does things. Or watch how when a dude sits, his legs are spread a little bit. And then when a woman sits, her legs are straight. Those are key things to look for. Now, depending on what the person's wearing, it's sometimes a little bit harder to kind of notice that. If they're wearing a full-blown dress, it's a little bit harder to kind of tell on that stuff. But it's just look at the mannerisms of like how a guy is and how he interacts with things. Guys tend to use their hands a lot more when they talk, and like how I'm doing everything. It's just that's how they do things. Women, not so much. And also the handshake. If you shake a woman's hand, if a woman wants to shake your hands, it's a little softer. And yeah, there's some things that you can tell. It's not hard.
Are
The hardest part
scars?
is most of the time that we're out trying to engage, there's usually outside influences that muddle the scene. And that's you like with everything else we've talked about on the show for 101 episodes, it's just being awake, being alert. And like I said, there's no I have no problem with any of this other than just be truthful.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you need to do.
Well, here's the other, like, what were you going to say?
I was just going to ask you gentlemen, if there are some typical telltale scars of the various surgeries that are obvious giveaways that you know of.
Well, for
Well, see, you have to remember
they have the under chest scars removing their breast.
Yeah, but you have to remember that there are also doctors who specialize in removing scars.
Yes.
So they're going to get a procedure done. They're going to wait until the scar heals up, just enough, and then they're going to go to that doctor and get those scars removed.
And I'm going to get really gross for a moment, and I apologize to anyone who is offended by this, because there's no other gross way to do this. You have to look at the number, the purchases of feminine hygiene products and the quantity that they purchase, because it is an open wound for anyone who is not born a female, and things have to be taken care of to keep it open.
Mm-hmm.
But by that point, you're already in a relationship, most likely with that person. So, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's also here's another way to tell. If you watch a sports, and let's say it's wrestling, okay, or boxing, and it's two chicks, and you see one chick, let's say boxing, for instance, you see one chick getting her face pummeled in, and the other chick not getting a bruise. Might be a dude that's boxing right there. Because here's the other thing I have an issue with is dudes who think they're women that go and play sports.
Absolutely.
We get it. You suck at men's sports. We get it. You don't have to go and play women's sports to justify, hey, I'm good. No, you're not. You're dog shit. Like, you could be the, 700th ranked in tennis and go play against women. You're going to be number one. It's a handicap that you're using. It's like,
we used to have I don't know what you want to call it. Men and women could play in these hockey tournaments, and it was such a ridiculous competition that you would only be concerned about what the males on the team were doing, because they were faster, they were bigger, they were skating harder, and and there is no equality in between the two genders when it comes to sports. And even when you pretend to be and take chromosomes and take all this other bullshit, there is still a difference. It's inherent, to quote Monty Python, it's inherent in the system. It's you already have the advantage, and now you're being dishonest and you're cheating. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Well, wasn't there a team in Australia, a teenage soccer team that beat a pro women's team?
Yes,
And
the American team.
Yeah.
15-year-old boys beat the American team.
It was the U.S. national team under 18s.
Yeah, and they beat them.
And they
pretty
beat
good
the
too.
women's
It's
team.
like,
yeah.
And this is it's like, come on.
And it wasn't close.
No.
A lot of you gentlemen, I'm sure, like myself, have played beer league softball or slow pitch, where it's mixed leagues, guys and girls, and it's just for fun. But you're as you mentioned before, I think, Jeff, you're not paying attention to what the girls are doing. Everyone is watching defensively. What are the guys on that team doing? And those are they're the playmakers usually. I've female pitchers. There are some female pitchers, if they don't mind taking a ball straight in the face,
and most don't.
Giggity.
You set it up, dude.
Actually, I'll continue on that one. When I was out in Vancouver, I visited Vancouver. I watched the women's nationals. Those women can throw a ball. They're really good at it. They can. There was a softball tournament. These girls can pitch. It would scare me seeing that thing come at me. Some of them are good, but liberal.
I absolutely love Jenny Finch. Like, she's a freaking smoke show.
Ooh, yes.
And she went up against several Major League Baseball players, and like Albert Pujols and a couple others, and struck them out. And they're like, "Oh, look, she's good." First time those guys had ever seen that. I guarantee you, within a week, they're driving that ball 400 feet.
Correct.
Once they get their timing down.
Well, here's one. What?
Go ahead.
Oh, I can let you finish.
No, I'm good.
Okay. So the one sport that, because I like playing co-ed softball, it's actually really fun. It's more laid back. It allows the guys to kind of have fun, just not take it so serious. It also allows guys to learn how to just have fun. One sport that I've learned that women can smoke the living bejeebus out of guys is pickleball. I know there's a lot of jokes here and there, but dude, I had a buddy of mine, we played against women. We didn't realize they actually do this for a living. They smoked us so bad. We thought we were the shit. We were like, we could do this. They're just women. No, we made 0 points. It wasn't even fun. We didn't even get a chance to serve. It was that bad. We were like, all right, we'll go. They said, you guys can go first. We're like, are you sure? So we did first. We botched it. And then, dude, we got hustled. So there are women who are good at some sports with men.
Oh, yeah.
It just depends on what it is. If it's something to do with like physical stuff.
I want to bring up an example, or anyone who may catch us later or watching now going, oh, conservative, liberal, one of the most liberal writers and creators in Hollywood, Seth MacFarlane, wrote the joke in Family Guy about this. Or what's Family Guy? Yeah, I think it was Family Guy, where a female came up to bat, and Peter Griffin's like, okay, lady hit her in, and then in the stands, her lesbian girlfriend goes, hit the ball, Leslie, or whatever, and Peter looks at everyone and goes, okay, everyone back.
Yeah.
So even the liberal mindset, when they're honest with themselves, know this.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes, I wonder. Funny you say that. About 10 years ago, here in British Columbia, they removed the what was it called? The Rover line, and that was a line in the field just past second base, where about 20 feet out past second base, and it went all the way around in the outfield. That if a girl is up to bat, none of the outfielders could rush in
and crowd the infield, knowing that she couldn't hit it out there. It was sort of to, make sure that they stayed out in their positions, and you gave the girl a chance to hit in case she did, and so they removed that rule about 10 years ago, and I've noticed a difference. It's hard. A lot of the girls can't. The guys rush in, and so do the girls, and they crowd the inner outfield, and they don't stand a chance because they're not going to hit. That's the only place they can hit the ball. So I think it's coming back to bite them in the ass. It's actually made it more unfair to the girls, ironically.
A good example, I'm going to just bring it up quickly. Was there Haley Wickenheiser? That's her name, isn't she? She was one of Canada's top female hockey players.
Yes.
I think you guys can back. Yeah. And she never played in the NHL because, and she, talent-wise, she might have been as good as almost any, she would have been a good second or third line player. Awesome. But I don't think she could have taken a hit because you get hit in some boards.
That is the same with Mignon Rayum.
Yes.
She got to go.
Talented goalie.
Yeah, but her size and her speed is what ultimately prevented her from being, well, if you're being honest, at number 1 or number 2. She would have been great in the modern rules where you can have a third goalie.
Yes, or AHL maybe or something like that.
Yes, and she did well in the minors.
Yeah.
But when the speed gets elevated at a higher level, it is just
can't.
Completely like Serena Williams said. She would lose 6-love in any tennis match against any of the top 200 men in the world.
Yes.
Because it's a different game.
And yet somebody stood up. She could beat these guys. No, she couldn't. She admitted she couldn't,
Yeah.
Serena, she was like, yeah, no.
So we're going to get to the last question. And I actually have one that isn't related to this. I just wanted to ask you guys because it's coming up to Thanksgiving. But here's this one. This one is a very interesting one. Why is it stupid for someone to not be upfront with their transition? Rick.
Well, because there's a good chance you might get your ass kicked if you're not. For one.
That's right. That's a pretty.
I'm just gonna. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
You get into an intimate moment, and all of a sudden there's twig and berries where you're not expecting one. Somebody might get hurt. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Vincent.
Well, he stole my answer. That's it. You've got a guy. The hormones are flowing. He thinks, "Ooh, tonight's the night, baby," and then she whips out a rod that's bigger than yours. Yeah.
Vincent, I told you not to tell anyone.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, but
Vincent, what happens at CPAC is supposed to stay at CPAC, bro.
Tempers are going to flare, and it might become violent.
Yeah.
Jeff.
Can you put the question back up, please?
No.
Please.
In Canada, CPAC stands for Canadian Parliamentary Access Channel.
I know.
No, I'm going to answer this on the way. I'm going to twist it a little bit because you mentioned about with Thanksgiving coming up, and I'm going to assume this is a family, relative, or someone else. When anyone is going through the transition, doesn't matter which way, their attitude, their mentality, and their behaviors change. And you may love that person at a more intimate level of, not sex, but family. And when you start to hear or see things that they've done are doing differently, you're going to get worried. Are they on drugs? Are they consuming too much alcohol? What the hell's changed? Are they suicidal? Now, and so being upfront with that you're going to go through this will help those that do care for you, love for you, understand, hey, there's going to be some differences for a while. And, hey, in 6 months, I'm going to appear completely different. And you're not shocked. You're not upset. The people that will be offended will know which way to veer, which way not to. It like I said, honesty is just the best medicine in practically everything. So, and you may find allies, and I hate using that term because it's been corrupted. You may find allies along the way that will just be there in case you need a hand, maybe just need some help, or hey, I know, my family doesn't understand this. I know this person doesn't understand it, but this is what it's just a level of helping a person. Even if you don't agree necessarily with their choices, you can still be a good human and then, make fun of them in front of their face. Hopefully they'll still laugh.
Yeah. Tom.
Well, again, all these points that are being brought up here. I mean, it can get dangerous if it's with somebody you don't know and they find out and hormones running and stuff. That can get, dependent. But two, just on the second point, yeah, you should, and with family too, again, especially, you should find at least one person that you'd be comfortable, hopefully, within that family. And I can understand because I've had friends that have transitioned, and it's not easy. I mean, it's scary because you could be shunned by your family, you could be shunned by your friends, and but in the end, you got to be able to be honest, especially if you're going to be intimate with somebody 100%. And I've heard of people not, and then you're putting yourself up for danger and you're being dishonest. So if you're going into a real relationship, you've just lost right there because you're not being honest. To me, honesty is the number one form of the best policy of being honest, because if you're not honest up front with that, that's kind of a big thing, or maybe not. But
trust that's lost is trust that isn't regained.
Right. Well, yeah, and the trust. To me, I was a good point on that. To me, you can't love somebody if you can't trust them. So trust is actually just equal with love, in my opinion. Because without it, you can't have the other. So that's a big thing. You have to be upfront if you want to be intimate with somebody and have a relationship. You got to. You just have to. You're not. You've already started your relationship up with a lie.
Yeah. Canadian Spider-Man.
Yeah, great answers. Especially Jeff. Yeah, like you were saying, it's going to be a shock to your relatives. Like you guys remember when all of a sudden Ted Danson had like white hair? Like that was a shock. He should have let us know gradually.
Holy shit! What an example!
What an analogy!
that is a great deep cut,
right? But another point that you made me think of is for personal mental stress and damage. Really, it being not being yourself comes at great expense as far as mental accumulated baggage goes. Talk to anyone who's lived a lie or a double life or what have you for any length of time. Not that I have. No one need know that I have a secret identity.
I don't have a problem with that because my second family doesn't know anything. So,
yeah. but for your own personal mental health, to the transitioner, to the person that is choosing to do this, leading a lie, living a life that is a lie or being dishonest comes at great mental expense, and I bet you don't realize the cost of that until it's too late.
And I want to expand on that a little more if I can. My older sister is gay. I never knew. Now, I should have known she was a baseball player and a softball player back in the 80s. That should have been a telltale sign, but it wasn't. And she joined the military. And after basic training, she called me at the house and said, "Hey, Jeff, I need you to go into a box. I need this document that they were asking me to get for the next level." Oh, okay, no worries. I'll go get it. So I went down to the basement, started digging through her boxes, and I found a bunch of lesbian sex books. And that was the first time I ever knew my sister was gay. Now, I'm going to make a joke, but it's truthful. That was some of the best reading material for a 15-year-old I've ever came across.
I was going to say, you still have those.
I learned so much by reading those books.
That shit went immediately into the wax stack.
One helpful hint before I continue the story. Gentlemen, learn cursive. That's all I'm going to say. Learn cursive. Okay, but that was how I found out that she was. Now, she had boyfriends in high school. but it was to hide everything. And when she got home, her and I were fighting and sparring like we always did, and I beat the living crap out of her, and almost got her in a chokehold where I almost popped her shoulder at one point as well. And I said, that was for not telling me. I'm your brother. I'm here to help you, your family. And if you advance that to today's days, she would have probably been transitioned if she was doing what she did back then. And that frightens me because my older sister ended up being the best man for my first wedding. Because her and I's relationship, after finding out and having our coming to Jesus moment and all of that, and she opened up to me, we had a tremendous relationship for the longest time. And like I said, whether I agree with the lifestyle or not is irrelevant. It's someone I care about. And that moment of untruthfulness did hurt. It eventually got a little bit, rebound. We're at a point now where we don't talk for political reasons, but it was interesting that looking back at it from the mid to late 80s to what it would be now, I guarantee you in today's society she would have been transitioned around 13 or 14 when she was playing Little League baseball and actually made the All-Star team. Everyone would have looked at her and said, oh my God, that's a boy. She's really a boy. And she would have, and I don't know if she would have been happy.
Can I bring up a point here, actually, to go on? Unless you're still more to say, Jeff.
I'm good.
No, it's touch with what you said. And that's what's wrong with leaving the youth. There's one named Chloe Cole. She was transitioned, I think, at 13 because she liked sports and she thought she liked girls. So she believed it. No, she was just a lesbian who liked sports. And now she's transitioning back to a woman again, and she's fighting. She's like 19 now. She had surgery, had her breast removed at age 15, and now she'll be infected the rest of her life. And it's sad because they're forcing this on children. Like once you're a certain age, you want to do it yourself, yes, but they're pushing this, and they're getting rid of people being gay. You can't be gay anymore. You're this gender instead, and that's really sad. And it's just scary what they're doing to these kids because they're being influenced. And exactly, if they would have looked at her then, they probably transitioned her in that modern time. And it's scary. It's really scary.
Wow. You're saying the bigger threat is not coming from straight people to the gay community. The bigger threat is the trans.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. It is. And I have trans friends. I get, I'm in, no, it's scary.
Here's the scary thought on this. It's conversion therapy the other way.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, one of the things that the reason why this is such this question is why it's stupid for someone to not mention their transition. I do like everyone's point of view it's dishonesty towards people. It's also a switch and bait for a straight guy. If the guy's going, you know what, I want to start dating. Okay, cool. Let's do this. Let's get you out dating. And they find what is a woman, and that person doesn't say, hey, look, I've transitioned, I've done all this stuff. Like you're leading on the person, and then he's like, you know what, I don't want to do this. And then that person's never going to want to date because it could be his first date ever.
He's never going to trust anybody again.
Exactly. It's a trust thing.
It's like being married and not telling them you're married.
Exactly. Yeah. And I would say, you know what?
No guy is married 100 miles from home. I'm just going to say that.
But if you might be right. But if you look at it where if someone says, hey, look, let's say one of us goes on a date and that person transitioned, and they're like, that person says, hey, look, I transitioned, yada, yada, yada. You know what? Like, here's the thing. Let's say I'm single and I go on a date with someone. The person's like, before we go on a date, I transitioned. Well, my instinct is like, okay, you're a dude. Let's go to the bar. Let's watch some sports. Let's hang out. Let's drink some brewskis. Like,
I'm not paying for your half.
Yeah, I ain't gonna pay for your gas. You can pay for yourself. All right, you've earned that, dude.
Let's
But
get that
it's
right away.
because if you're being honest with someone, and you can put it in the same perspective of in a marriage, you're gonna get like this moment of like, you know what, I respect this person. They're cool. And you might be friends, I don't know. And that's the problem where you get with these dating, where the person's not going to say. I've seen a lot of people say like, it's okay if you don't tell the person you transitioned. Well, there's a lot of other issues behind that come into court reasons. Let's say the guy ends up taking the chick to his place and be like, yes, I'm going to get lucky, and turns out that's a dude. Guess what? You got a lawsuit on your hands because he's like, I didn't ask for this. And just be upfront. Like, it's not that hard. Like, I get it. You might be scared. Like, what if they don't like me after? Who cares? Just be upfront. If they're like, hey, you know what? Whatever. A hole's a hole. Let's go.
Yeah, because out of 100 people, 99 people aren't going to be into it. But that one guy, it's his fetish.
Yeah. And here's the other thing. It's
no risk
my advice is keep the kids out of it. Don't. If you're over 18, okay, here's the thing. If you're like 24 because your brain is still growing even in your early 20s, like once you're in your mid 20s, I don't care what you do. Other thing, don't push it. Like I'm always told like conservatives push all this stuff. I'm like, no, we don't. I talk to a lot of conservative guys and women. They're like, we don't really care. It's just keep the kids out of it and don't push this crap on us. If you didn't do all that stuff, we'd be all like, okay, cool. You want to play cosplay? Big whoop. All right.
It's funny you say that because, well, with my last name being what my last name is, my son and I have had honest conversations about pot. And I've told him, I said, the only thing I ask you to do is don't do pot until you're 25. And he's
That's
like, why?
okay.
I said, because your brain hasn't fully developed yet.
Yeah.
I don't care the benefits of pot or the negatives of pot. Your brain hasn't fully developed.
Yeah.
And it's the same way with all of these subjects of this matter, whether it's pot or transitioning to a pretend gender. Let your brain develop and rest before you know it. And for all those who go, well, they won't be able to get the science always catches up. They will be doing shit in 10 years that you would never think possible as far as gender reassignment, only because there's money in it. As long as there's money in it, they will find a way, like Tom said, about putting a uterus in a guy, expanding the hips, and 10 to 20 years, would any of us be shocked that a person born a male will give a vaginal birth within 20 years?
But you know what? It's going to give it away. Let's say dude goes in to the doctors and he transitioned as a woman, looks full blown, has a uterus and whatnot. Goes to the doctor, get a checkup. The doctor goes, well, you got prostate cancer. Guess what? You're a dude. Giveaway.
20 years.
Surprise.
20 years. I guarantee you, because the money is there to be had.
Yeah.
In 20 years,
Science
anyone with money is going to be able to get their brain put in a homeless woman's body.
100%.
What?
100%.
Well, anyways, those are the questions. What?
Think about it.
I was gonna say the scary thing is he's not wrong. They're already starting to talk about this kind of stuff. So I don't think it's gonna be 20 years, but I give it maybe 30 or 40, and it's gonna be a thing.
That's scary. I have one question I have for you guys that is coming up for Thanksgiving. Usually when holidays come up, I like to do the show that's geared towards the holiday. Well, this year, season 3, we ain't going to do it. I did say that season 3 is going to be a wild ride. Guess what? We ended up talking about transgenders. Good thing we waited until 3 years to do this episode and not the first year. I want to ask you guys, what's the one thing you're thankful for being a man? Vincent.
The one thing I'm thankful for is the ability to father children. I have 2 amazing kids. I have a boy and a girl, and I have 8 amazing grandchildren. And I'm just loving my life, man. I love my kids. I love my grandkids. And if I were to die tomorrow, I'd die a happy man.
I like that. Wow. Jeff.
Vincent took my answer.
I know that's a good. Although I'm not.
How does it feel?
Sucks. So I am going to go with. I'm going to go with the joke, even though it's truthful. I can pee while I'm driving.
Yes, the New York cab driver trick. Always keep an empty 2-liter Coke bottle in the front seat of your car.
And your dick halfway in it.
It's a very okay. Canadian Spider-Man.
I'm glad being a man and growing up in the society that I did, because today's society forces men to be independent, because if you don't make yourself useful, no one else is going to save your ass. So independence. Today's society, because the way it's set up, men's only value is whatever value we make for ourselves, and that has given me independence. Because we have to fend for ourselves, we have to learn to be independent to be any kind of happy or successful. I don't like playing games on easy mode, and that's why I'm glad I was born a man.
I like that answer. Tom.
That was a good answer, actually. Actually, mine would extend on to that. That one kind of made me forget what I was going to say. Actually, it was similar to that. Actually,
you're supposed to yell, "He took my answer."
Yes, he took my answer. Damn you, Spidey. But
doesn't happen often, folks.
Come back to me in a sec. I'm going to try to.
All right. Yeah. Rick.
Well, I mean, I don't get to say this often, but Vincent actually did steal my answer. Bastard. But as far as second tier answer, I guess. I mean, kind of CSM kind of stole my thunder with that one too. I'm pretty thankful to be a man in the time that I grew up in being one, where I'm not so confused about everything, and I'm not being told by my teachers that you have to behave this way because we like the way the girls behave better. And I'm glad that none of my kids really had to go through that as much as well, since most of my kids are boys. But overall, just as a man in general, I am thankful that I live in America, for one, because we haven't been the country that our founding fathers wanted us to be for a while. But I get the feeling that if we do it right, we're on our way back. And I'm very thankful to be alive at this time to where we could possibly see us transitioning back to being the great country that we once were. To play on to the word choice for tonight's show. See how I worked in transition. But yeah, so I'm just glad to be a dude, because anymore it's bad to be one. So I think we need to focus more on why we're thankful for being men in a society that tells us that men are terrible. So
that's a good
and
one.
I'm thankful for that in general, because I feel like free speech is coming back to America, and I don't think some people are going to like it.
The age of man is coming back, and
This is true.
masculinity. The age of masculinity is coming back. Mark my words.
Oh yeah. Tom, do you have one, or did it?
Yeah, a few. No, I never had children, and I'm 52 now, so I don't think I'm having kids anymore. So I can't answer that one.
You still can. You still can.
I don't know if I want to now. I want to travel and be a photographer.
You're like, I've seen this world. I'm out.
Terrible idea.
Yeah. No, I don't know. To go on his point, though, and Chris Rock, it's a big thing. You've probably seen the video of women, children, and animals are loved unconditionally. Men are loved. We need to create a condition. We need to provide. And that's forced us to be harder workers. That forced us to prove ourselves to the world and to ourselves. And to me, being a guy, you have to prove yourself, and to yourself is most important. And then you can prove yourself to others in doing so. So it makes us to me, harder work. I'm not saying all guys do believe in that, but I believe being a man, you have to work hard to exist on our planet. It's a little easier for the other people. And I'm not saying it's easy for women and stuff. They still have a heart in other ways, but we have to work to be providers. That's what we traditionally are as men, as providers. And with that role, we create to be able to first provide for ourselves. Being a single guy, I have to provide for myself. I got to do everything around the house. But I know if I ever met somebody now, I'm looking now, but I'd be able to provide for them, because I've learned over the years how to do that kind of thing. And we're forced to as guys. We have to rely on ourselves. We don't have other people that are going to do it for us. So, and that's being a guy. So,
no, that's really good. For me, I'm just thankful for the fact that a lot of you guys stole my answers, man. I'm not kidding. They were good ones.
They're all good answers, exactly.
I think for me, I'm thankful for being a guy because I can push my limits. I know where my limit is. Well, no, that's a terrible one. Damn it. This is the problem when everyone has a good answer. And I'm like, dang it. I guess
stand up peeing?
Yeah, I think I'd be more thankful for being a man is the ability to not be afraid to have masculinity. Because with today's society, it's like masculinity is toxic. No, it's not.
No.
Where is it toxic for being masculine?
It's not toxic. They're just weak pieces of shit. That's what it is.
Well, toxic, it's actually, yes.
But it's actually the exact opposite. The lack of masculinity is what makes men toxic because they don't know how to behave.
Yeah.
Jordan Peterson has a great speech on that exact thing.
Yeah. He's the man who's exactly.
Yeah, so for me, it's just I'm thankful for the fact that I can just push my nuts around. When I drive my truck, people get out of my way. It feels good. Yeah, you push your nuts around. You tell people in the face like, hey, like, let's move along.
Wait, what?
That must be a California expression.
Yeah, because moving your nuts around, you're adjusting your pants.
No.
What the hell?
No.
Okay, really?
So here's an example, guys. There's a footage of Trump when he pushes everyone out of his way to get in front of everyone. That's pushing your nuts around. You're just the big guy. You're proving yourself that way, not literally like, hey, whack.
And when you get to an age, you got to adjust down there more. It's like, they drop it.
I have pushed children out of my way during an explosion.
Well, that's just
proud of it.
That's a George Costanza thing.
I've done that, my friend.
Well, I think everybody should push children. It's fun.
Well, I second that emotion.
Anyways, so we're gonna get to
children are human weeble wobbles.
Yeah,
they gotta be pushed down on.
They have it too easy. Jesus.
We're gonna get to tip of the hat, guys.
Run across the room. No.
So tip of the hat is where we actually give a tip to play an influential part in our lives. I'm also leaving this up to it. If anyone wants to go to Rumble, we're streaming also, and then if you do a rant for what your tip of the hat is, we will actually mention it. That's a new thing we're doing. Last week that happened, and I thought that was kind of cool. So it allows the fans who are watching, hey, I want to be a part of this, and give out their tips. Because I always see it in the chat, but we never get a chance to actually talk about it. But if you actually do a rant, we'll bring it up. So, Rick, what is your tip of the hat for this week? And don't steal my answer.
Well, the problem is I couldn't really come up with just one for today, so I think I'm going to go back to my original. So one of my very first Hollywood-related experiences with masculinity had to have been John Snyder from the Dukes of Hazzard, and he has just been solidly like a dude pretty much his entire life. Even right now, he's basically in the same vein of Tim Allen and all the rest of them, just telling everybody exactly how it is. So I think that's where my tip of the hat's going to go this week.
All right.
Because he's just an awesome dude.
Nice. Canadian Spider-Man.
Yes, I'd like to tip of the hat and
to Sailor Jerry.
God, jeez, yeah. Yeah.
You can blow smoke off
I
that ass.
lost an entire evening. Did not burn the place down, and no fire department showed up. So that was good.
That's good.
No, I would like to tip of the hat and raise a glass to Mike Smith. And I bet you Tom knows Mike Smith, located just out of Halifax. You might know him. He was part of the Trailer Park Boys. He's Bubbles. Bubbles from the Trailer Park Boys. His real name is Mike Smith. And that fella, I often tip my hat to guys that don't take themselves too seriously, but are real men. That man is a real man. If you've heard him speak, any of the speeches he's given outside of the show, any of the interviews, and he just doesn't take himself too seriously. He's willing to play a less than optimal guy. He's definitely not one of these Chaddingtons, the 10 out of 10 that gets when he goes on Tinder. I don't think he gets any swipes as Bubbles, and he's willing to portray that character and do it with honor. Because the other thing about Bubbles, although he's not an attractive guy, Bubbles has honor and integrity. Out of all of the guys on the show, if you mention the word integrity and honor, Bubbles is automatically your go-to. And he portrays that character perfectly. And he's willing to really make fun of himself in order to do such a good job of portraying that character. And and plus he's a nice guy in real life too. So not that I've met him, I've only seen the interviews.
All right.
Great guitarist too. He actually toured with many bands, so he's a good musician also.
Yeah, he's not too far. You could probably see him live.
Yeah.
You
Jeff,
could probably go to his house and he'd show you a good time.
good luck with that.
Okay, I'm going to get deeply serious, and I know we're on YouTube, so I'm going to have to choose my words very carefully, and I apologize. This may be a little lengthy. Tonight, my tip of the hat goes to Nate, also known as Nathaniel of the White House, as we used to call it when we were in high school, the party house. His parents would always go on vacations up to Maine, and we would jam out and get drunk and other things all weekend long. But this Thanksgiving, my tip of the hat is dedicated to him because in the room next to me is my 16-year-old, almost newly licensed driver's son. I never thought with the events that happened with my twins that I would ever see this point. And if it wasn't for a fateful phone call when I was sitting in the closet with my sister's stapler, where I was thinking about deleting myself. And he gave me a call saying, buddy, you didn't seem right today in school. I may not be able to do anything that I've done since then. And I am in particular thankful this time of year looking at everything around me, knowing I'm blessed with friends and new family, that to the point where I actually ended up naming one of my twins after him. And if you want to read the story, it is over at Misfits Politics. Very lengthy, right up on all that. So I just want to give a big shout out to the hat to Nate and Nat, however you want to call him. My best friend in high school, dude. I appreciate you.
Cool, man. Cool. Tom.
Oh, sorry, that was good. And we do. You're good. Awesome. You're awesome, Jeff. You are. So, sorry, that was deep. That was good.
Yeah, good luck following that.
I'm just going to go with the Maritimes. We'll stick with the Maritimes. We're going to the Maritimes area. Bye. There's actually a good musician. We'll go musician. Matt Anderson. Bigger fella. He's up from the North Shore, more in the northern. Amazing blues man. I've seen him 3-4 times live. He's one of those acts that just I want to go see again because he's a bigger guy, but he has energy that you're like, where do you get this energy on the stage? He's amazing. He plays from the heart. You know, a musician when he feels what he's singing, and you can watch him. You're like, he's feeling it. He's a great guitarist too. Matt Anderson, go check him out. My friend, actually, Jess Gray, he's performed with him before. just like I will want to watch him again and again and again and again. Check him out on YouTube. He's got YouTube videos too. Devil's Bride, one of his best songs. Oh, so good. He's just a brilliant musician, and I admire him too. He's just a small town guy who made it. Now he's well renowned as a musician. It's like somebody I can look up to. It's like that inspires me. Like I'm just a small. I mean, St. John's not small, but it's still small. But I believe I can make it. People like that inspire me. Like I'm a photographer. I'm getting into filmmaking. I look at him. He's from a tiny little town, and he's world renowned now. Brilliant artist, and that inspires me. And his passion. Because like I said, you watch him live. It's like you get I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it because it's like wow, he exudes what he's playing and he believes what he's playing and his passion, and he's a blues artist, just an amazing man. Matt Anderson, check him out. But yeah, that's the tip I have for today.
All right,
so
cool.
Vincent, don't you dare say I took your answer.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
Actually, I really didn't give this any thought, but because I thought, before Steve jumped on the tranny thing, giggity, we were going to talk about fashions, and you can't really talk about men's fashion without talking about Cary Grant,
Oh,
who was quite possibly one of the most well-dressed motherfuckers ever to have lived. I mean, the man was a style icon, and not too bad of an actor.
Yeah, that is true. Nice. For me, it's going to be J.D. Vance. I know everyone has a joke about him or something, but for him, he just watching how he talks and doesn't allow people to push him over, and he always just gets there. He always has something to say, and I think a lot of guys can learn from just him, whether you like him or not. That's okay, but you can learn how the way he communicates to people, and he's very much like, no, you're not going to change things. You're not going. It's just this is it, and I think that's important. But yeah, I do want to thank everyone who was on here: Tom, Canadian Spider-Man, Rick, Jeff, and Vincent. Thank you for coming on for this really fun topic. And
I thought the show was about aliens. I swear.
No, thank you for having me.
Saturday.
No, this
Illegal
was
aliens.
awesome.
Illegal aliens is next week.
Like I said, trans friends. And can I just say one thing quickly? Some people are extreme and I hate every trans. No, there's some amazing trans people out there. And there's a difference. There's transsexual and transgender. The modern term transgender, there's the ones that shove it in your face, want kids, and blah, blah, blah. And there's actual people that just want to live their life. And they transition because they have gender dysphoria. And some of them are amazing people. I have some of my close friends that were. So that's something I always say. Don't hate somebody just because they're that. Some people, they're amazing people, some of them. It's just these ideologists that want children and all that. And that's the difference. So just notice the difference and don't hate on somebody just because they're trans. And that's something some people do. No, some of them are amazing people. They're just trying to live their life. But anyway,
yeah.
Just wanted to have that said.
So
Next was
week,
one of the most popular characters.
So don't forget to smash that like button.
I mean, hey, who among us did not look at Bugs Bunny and drag and go, I might have.
Yeah.
So next week we're doing a cooking episode. It'll be the last cooking episode for this year, and because it's holiday, it'll be like during Christmas, so we'll learn some holiday Christmas stuff. But I do have a special guest coming on for that show. It's a lady, Elaine Price, will be on, and I don't know if she's gonna be on the whole time or a certain part of it. Maybe we'll see. Maybe the last hour or something. But she's gonna come on and she wants to talk about cooking with us because she really likes when we talk about cooking. I would make sure you eat a lot of food before because I get really hungry during these episodes.
Yeah, don't podcast when you're hungry. Ever.
Yeah, because it's very miserable. But we'll be doing that on next week at 7 p.m. Pacific time, and then both on KLRN Radio, X, YouTube, Rumble, all that fun shenanigans. And then after that week, we're going to do the fashion episode. So we'll do the fashion one. Don't worry, Vincent. I know you're really, really anticipating it. but we'll get to it. Don't worry, little guy.
I'm looking for that. Fashion design was the course that I was going to take as an elective in art college. So,
So that's what we have in store for the next 2 weeks. You guys have a good Thanksgiving. Stay safe if you're traveling. Enjoy being with family and friends. Just be thankful. And
as always, Hail Hydra.
Yeah. And then here's the other thing. You know what? I would normally never say this, but if you're at a Thanksgiving dinner and there's some people that don't believe in your political views, screw it. Let them know. Let them know that Trump is your daddy. Because guess what? He just made yo his bitch. Thank you guys very much. Thank you for Kayla Rand Radio. You guys are awesome. On that note, President Donald Trump has something to say.
And we say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.